I would say my mom definitely inspires me. Okay, now I'm gonna start crying.
My mother, she went to law school after my parents' divorce. She was a single mother of 5 kids. There still wasn't a lot of women attorneys back then. For me, as a kid, seeing her going to school, being able to do that and to become an attorney, it shaped me.
So my wife, Carissa, is one of the most influential people that I think I've met in this life, among the many reasons that I chose to marry her. She is a nurse for a pediatric hospital here in the area. I find it really influential that she has dedicated her career to working with children with, chronic illness, and it's been really admirable to just watch her do that and really give it her all with a lot of passion.
I'm going to start with my great-grandma, who was part of the Mexican Revolution. I remember her carrying a gun with her. She was a pretty strong woman. And then I'm going to go then to my grandma. She will be so strict with us, but she was also saying that she was preparing us for the world. My mom was married pretty young. She had a pretty hard life, and she will say that the best thing she will ever say was education. So she wants us to be educated, and she wants us to be independent. And she will say, I don't want you girls to depend on a man. I want you girls to grow up and do what you want.
I think one of my initial mentors in my life, or a woman I really looked up to, was my maternal grandmother. She had a career in banking and insurance, and this would be in the 1940s. She was also a farmer, a mother, and a wife. And so she was somebody who really early on during that time period had a career, was a successful wife and mother as well. So I really admire all that she was able to accomplish, 60, 70 years ago.
It is women as a whole, and I'm going to say women as a whole in the medical arena, in the science arena. I look to those women for support, for understanding, for education. So women in the science field are my true inspiration, and they motivate me to do better for other women that are coming behind me, but also for my patients.
So when I look at my own life and I look at the impact that women have had on me, I look to my mother, who worked extra hours on the weekend as a nursing assistant so that she could send me a few extra dollars on the weekend to buy some pizza when I was in college. My wife, who has devoted her life to the nursing profession, and now she's the person that we look to in our extended family whenever there is a healthcare issue that needs fixing. And my daughter, who is a CRNA, nurse anesthetist, that is devoting her life to healthcare.
Not being from this country, my mom, she didn't have a high school education. She didn't have a college education. And just her resilience, her strength inspires me to do my best. She always volunteered and helped people. And she taught me those skills to always care for another person. She's my hero, and she's probably the biggest person that influences me.
So I actually have several women who have inspired me. So my mom grew up in the deep South in Louisiana, and she had everything happen to her, from her mom being murdered to growing up in poverty. She even picked cotton for a short period of time. She didn't get an opportunity to get a full education. I think she only got a third-grade education. Later, when I left home and decided to go do other things, I started to realize her large contribution to making sure that I had an opportunity to do things that are bigger and better. Another person who I want to point out is my wife. She did an excellent job at raising our 2 kids. She worked as a bird nurse here for about 6 years. So she worked at the same time when she was working as a bird nurse here. She raised our 2 kids and did an amazing job. So that is something that I'm forever grateful for.
I know early in my career, it was here when it was part of Maricopa County. They had a number of women that had elevated themselves into leadership roles. And there was one person in particular, Randy Baca, that had done many things across the county, from animal control all the way to public health and other areas. Seeing what she was able to accomplish, and just the way she did it with grace and professionalism
and dignity. I think that was something that I was like, if I can do that with all the stress that goes on in everyday world, I think I have accomplished. So it was somebody I always looked up to see how did she handle things.
First and foremost are my grandmother and my mother. You know, I wouldn't be here without them as key fixtures in my life, their work ethic, their caring nature, and truly their support to get through there. But as I look at my growth through, residency and through fellowships around that, I look at the female physicians that were my faculty, that were my teachers, to be able to learn from them, practice with them, and really put the patient at the center with them to make sure that we're able to not only educate the patient, but help them on their healing journey. I wouldn't be here today without them.
My mother is one of the most loving and patient people that I've ever met on the planet. She's been a hard worker my entire life as she became a single parent, and she helped to make sure that we had great values in our home. I always want to make my mother proud so that she can know she did not work so hard for nothing. I always want to ensure that she understands that I respect how hard she had to work, and I do want to just take the moment to say that she is someone who helps to guide me and has structured all of what I am today, and I'm blessed to have her.